honor to the Most High.
Give honor to the Most High.
Give honor.
Give honor to the Most High.
We honor you today, Father.
Give honor to the Most
Hallelujah.
High.
Praise the Most
Give
High,
honor
Yah.
to the Most
Lift your hands to Yahweh today. We give you honor, Father.
Honor to the Most High.
Honor, honor.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's right. We sitting out here on this beautiful Shabbat. The Most High has blessed us with some beautiful weather. And, you know, the word of Yah talks about the mouth out of the mouth of babes. And we was just sitting here, me and my son, me and my oldest. I always stress to him the importance of being the firstborn, you know, and he does a great job at leading his brothers. He does a great job of showing his brothers who the Most High is through his actions. I hear him all the time. In the morning when they wake up, he tells his brothers to get down and give the Most High praise and pray. You know, he leads his brothers, and I give thanks to my son. I give thanks to the Most High for teaching my son through me how important it is. How important it is to lead his brothers. You know, my son is just an awesome example of what it means to do what's right. And not only that, we're just going to have a conversation, and we're going to talk about how, you know, he's in these wicked Babylonian systems of school. He got literally 30 days left, and he will never touch foot in another public school again. Hallelujah. We're going to start homeschooling our kids and teach them the truth of who they are. Hallelujah. So I'm just going to ask you some questions, son. You ready for this? Okay, so I got a question for you. So one day when we was you came home and you told me how they all in school, your friends, and it was like, we got a Christian club. We got a Christian club. And everybody was raising their hands, and everybody was shouting about a Christian and Christianity club. And then they looked at you crazy because you didn't jump up. Tell me what you told them, son.
That I'm an Israelite.
Tell me why you told them you an Israelite.
Because I know who I actually am. And I know that I'm not a Roman Catholic Christian.
Hallelujah. Tell me why you not a Roman Catholic.
Because, for one, I'm from Israel. I'm from Israel. And I'm not from Europe.
Hallelujah. You see this wisdom here? This is my young son. This is my oldest leading.
And I know the truth, that I know that the cross is a graven image. And I know that people, when they have churches, I look at all these churches and they always have graven images on them.
Hallelujah.
And I'm always telling my mom or dad, oh, look, that's a graven image over there. And
That's
today, when I was on the highway with my mom, and she was driving, I even saw a car that had a graven image on it.
Hallelujah. So let me ask you a question, son. You know, because a lot of people, especially in Christianity, because we talk about this all the time, we don't dislike Christians because we used to be Christians. But the Most High took the scales off of our eyes, and he showed us what it is, his truth and his word. So you hear a lot of people, and they don't want to follow the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. So let me ask you something, son. Tell me, what's the first books of the Bible?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Okay. Now tell me, son, what is that called? It's all right. It's the book of what?
Instructions.
There you go. There you go. Because Those book of instructions tell us what?
It tells us the law.
That's right.
It has Yeshua talking,
Okay.
and also that's when it has the Passover, and it never ain't named Easter.
That's right.
they
And never named
celebrate-
what else?
Good Friday
Mm-hmm.
or Christmas or what else? It never had go to church on Sunday.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, son. Because obviously you a young man. You a handsome young man. And I always stress to you the importance of being the firstborn son. And as we continue to read the scriptures of the Most High Yah, and I continue to show you the importance about being the firstborn son, and considering that you have two younger brothers, tell me the importance, just from your mind, tell me how important it is to be the firstborn son.
Well, since you're the firstborn, you're basically responsible for your brothers and sisters. So if something happens with your brothers, then it's going to be blamed on you because you're their brother or you're their sister or your brothers. You're the oldest basically, and you're supposed to lead them after your father leads you.
Oh, right.
So whenever something happens, it's always going to be blamed on you.
Well, not necessarily blamed on you, but who are you looking to lead you, Bryson?
My father, after he's going to lead it by Yeshua.
That's right. So your father follows Yeshua, the King of all, Yeshua HaMashiach, right? And I love the fact that how you get so excited when you hear his name, Yeshua HaMashiach, the King of all kings. And we just enjoying this beautiful day out here on the deck, me and my older son, and we just having a good conversation. So as I follow Yeshua, who do you follow?
You.
You follow me, right? And then who's watching you, son?
Yeshua.
Yeshua's watching you. But who's coming behind you and watching you?
My brothers.
Your brothers.
Or my sisters.
Your sisters to come, huh? Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yah.
What else was I about to say?
So let me ask you something, son. Tell me about how we used to do things. We used to celebrate Christmas. We used to celebrate Easter. We used to go to church on Sundays. We used to celebrate all of these pagan holidays like Thanksgiving, where they killed literally all of our people and sodomized our women and sodomized and killed our sons and daughters and did so much wicked to us. But now we know the truth of the Most High Yah because we continue to look in his word, and he continues to guide us in his word. So tell me how you feel. Just tell me what's on your mind, son. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you've learned. Tell me all these things that's on your mind.
So when we used to be Christians, we used to celebrate Christmas, and I used to always get excited. And when I had to use the bathroom, I would never tell my parents, but I would always when I used the bathroom, I would always go to like the balcony, and I would look if there were any presents there yet. But since I'm not a Christian now I know, oh, it's not actually Santa, because people, they'll say, oh, it's the Easter Bunny. They'll lie to their kids and say, this is the Easter Bunny, it's not me. And they always say that I'll never lie to you. But they always lie to you by saying, oh, this is the Easter Bunny, but it's really them. That's why I'm always telling my friend, who I actually care about, who says you don't have to follow Yeshua to go to heaven. But I always tell him, and he understands, yes, it's not Santa, or it's not the Easter Bunny. He understands that. But that's why since you're a Christian, you don't understand stuff. That's why you think you're always in charge of stuff. So that's why you think that you can do whatever you want. And that's why you think that you are like in charge of everybody. So, also when I was a Christian,
Okay, yes, ma'am. Love you.
I remember that when I was a Christian, one of the people that went to church with us, I remember going to her house and celebrating Easter there. And I remember when my brother, he used to go to therapy. Well, he still goes there, but he's about to be finished. But when he first started going there, every Easter, we would always go to his school and celebrate Easter there. And we would always be rushing to get candy and stuff. And when I used to celebrate Christmas, when I remember when we were going to Brother Kabir's house, I remember my dad watching this video about the true Santa Claus. And I remember I saw like this creepy picture of like this Roman Catholic or something. It looked pretty like weird and creepy. And it was like talking about who actually made Easter in Santa Claus, and how Santa Claus is so jolly, and books that are almost always based on Santa and Easter, and at stores they would have Easter and Christmas cards. And then I started to recognize this stuff as I was coming out of out of being a Christian. And now I actually understand this stuff was actually made by Romans. And also I remember my dad turned on this like Roman TV show. I forgot. It was like a Roman, I forgot what it's called, but it was like about Romans. He was telling me that Romans, for one, they took over. I'm pretty sure they took over the whole world. Is that correct, Daddy? They took over the world. Then they put believers in Yah. They had like the stadium, and they would put like lions and bears and wolves in there, and they would like be laughing and cheering, and like the people that believed in Yah, they would be running like in there until they got eaten basically by the wolves and lions and bears, and they would be cheering like it was a football game, but it actually wasn't. And it was kind of got like a little scary to me. And then when I started looking at people like at school. Then I started learning when something comes out and they say they make this like Christmas, everybody always sucks it up and says, oh, we gotta celebrate this. But they make it about Yah. They say it's about Yah, but who's the only person they focused on? Like in Christmas or Easter, who's the only person they focused on?
You tell me, who's that?
For one, themselves, and they're focused on the Easter Bunny. They never really mention, oh, this is about Yah, this is on Yah's birthday party or birthday. They never mention that because they only care about themselves. They only care about, oh, I can't wait for Christmas because Santa's coming. And the only reason they say it's Santa Claus is because their parents always told them that was Santa Claus.
That's right.
Even when I knew, oh, Santa Claus is not real, I always would be like looking out the window and seeing if there was actually like some reindeer and stuff. And what was I about to say?
Just talk your mind, son. Whatever comes to your mind, because you know, as me and you sit out here tonight, and you know, before as we came out here tonight, I said, you know, look up at the heavens, and my son looked up at the firmament in the sky, and he was just amazed as we was just sitting there and we was just talking about the power of the Most High Yah, about the power of our Father, the King of Israel. And I just told him to come out here and speak his mind. Whatever came to his mind, you know, because he has a lot to say. And sometimes he humbles me because, you know, I may be teaching, and he always brings me back to the simplest form. You know, at times we can be reading the word of the Most High Yah, and my son always brings me back to the simplest form. He makes it so simple, and it makes me realize how the Father, he's so deep, but yet he's so simple. And he gives you understanding. And to see my oldest son leading his brothers the way he leads them, you know, he blushes because he gets kind of nervous, but he knows he's doing a good job. And he knows I'm hard on him because he's the firstborn. And I'm hard on his brothers too, but he knows the responsibility he has as the firstborn to be a seed that's raised in righteousness. And he knows I read to him, I pray to him, I pray for him, and he's doing such a good job. And I'm really, really proud of him. Is there anything else you want to say on this beautiful set apart Shabbat?
Yes,
Is there anything you want to say tonight, son?
Yes,
Anything
sir.
else?
Yes, sir. So, when we were Christians, I remember there used to be a lot of times, almost every single day, I would always hear my mom and dad arguing, all the time. I remember every Sunday, almost every single Sunday, they were arguing. And it would always take like 5 days or they would still be talking about it. But since we came to the truth, I've never really heard my mom actually yelling at my dad, or my dad actually yelling at my mom. And I never see my mom like crying, or because she's sad because my dad was yelling at her. I never ever hear that anymore. Because I remember I used to be sitting in my room at night and I would start to get scared because my mom and dad were just yelling. And now since we came in the truth, my dad never and my mom never argued again. I never hear that anymore. And I used to always tell my dad, I used to tell my dad and my mom that you guys need to stop arguing. But it's finally stopped. I'm not saying they never get disagreements anymore, but they never really argue anymore. And that's just been a good thing for me. And I'm glad. And I'm very glad that my dad and mom stopped arguing and they actually got over it, because I never see them arguing anymore. And it's I can't believe this is just awesome.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Awesome.
Bless you, son. Come give me a hug, man. Come give me a hug.
Don't pause it.
Tell everybody,
Don't pause it.
Shabbat Shalom. And we go.
Daddy, don't pause it real quick.
Okay.
I gotta say one more thing.
Okay.
And also, so there's this guy at my school that he's a Christian and his name is Ian. So we were at art one time, and he said, for one, that he said that Hebrew was another form of a Christian. So then after that, then he said, since I'm a Hebrew, he said this directly to me. He said, since I'm a Hebrew, that I'm not gonna make it to heaven. And then he said, since I'm a Christian, I'm gonna go to heaven, basically. And he's like said it like he was guaranteed, yeah, I'm going to heaven. And I don't get why he said that. Because you don't know who's going to hell or heaven. You don't know that. It's only the Most High that knows that. You don't know that at all. You just say that because you think you know who's going where. But then, at the same time, I thought that it was switched around. But then I knew I had to get over that because I knew also I didn't know who was going to hell or heaven. And then after that, then he says, since he's a Christian, I said, you're a Christian, right? And he said, yeah, I'm a Christian. And he said, that means you're a Roman Catholic. And he's like, no, I'm not a Roman Catholic, or I'm not a Catholic. And he said that was a type of Christian. And what I don't understand about Christianity is there's like a million types of Christians. Like, I don't really understand that. Like, there's one Christian that believes in this, and then there's another that believes in this. Like, I know Wilson, my friend Wilson, he said that you don't have to follow what Yah says. But then I asked Ian, is that true?
Right.
But he was like, no. Even as he's a Christian, he said, no, that's not true. You have to do what God says. What God says to go to heaven.
Well, we know his name is what?
Yeah.
That's right.
And he said that. So then I'm thinking, well, yeah, you're right. But what I just don't get how there's like a million types of Christians. I don't get how he says one thing and he says another.
There's a million type of Christians, but there's only one nation of what?
Israel.
That's right. And we have to do what? Follow his what?
Law, statutes, commands.
Because of what Yeshua did on the cross, on the tree for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of what I'm trying to correct my speech, because he did what he did on that tree for us,
Mm-hmm.
we know, because he said, those who love us obey my commands. Those who love me, he says, obey my commands. We know that John said, if you know him and you don't keep his commands, that you a liar and the truth not in him. We know that the prophet Isaiah said that if they don't speak according to the law and to the testimony, that there is no light in them. That's what he said. We know that Revelation 14:12 said, this is the patience of the saints, those who keep the commands and the faith in Yeshua HaMashiach. So, son, I bless you. Continue to grow, son. Continue to speak the truth, because the Most High is going to use you for his glory. Never be afraid. Do what the apostles did in the actions of the apostles. What they did is they prayed for more boldness. You see how people come against your mother. You see how people come against your father. You see how people come against us. But we continue to speak the truth because we follow the book. And we're going to continue to follow the book. There's no turning back. And we're going to do what the Most High Yah says. Hallelujah. 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 Bless you, son.
Give honor to the Most High.
Give honor to the Most High.
Give honor.
Give honor to the Most High.
We honor you today, Father.
Give honor to the Most
Hallelujah.
High.
Praise the Most
Give
High Yah.
honor to the Most
Lift your hands to Yahweh today. We give you honor, Father.